Hello, grade 2. Today we'll be talking about the genre that we took this week, which is called informational text. And we'll be reading the story, and we'll try to find the main ideas in the story and the details that support the main idea. Okay? Let's start first by talking about the genre. We said that the genre is the type of story. Okay? The last 2 weeks we've been reading a realistic fiction, and we said that realistic fiction stories are stories that are made up, okay, that are not real, but the events in the story can happen in real life, so they seem real. But in an informational text, you'll find that the story gives you facts, it gives you real information and details about a real place, a real person, or real events. Okay, real things that happen. So, since our whole unit is about neighborhoods, we'll be reading about different places that we have in our community. Okay, and I told you guys in class, when you read, you have to have a purpose. A purpose is you have to put in mind, why are you reading the story? Okay, what will I learn after I read the story? So, since you know that this story is an informational text, you will learn that the main details are will give you facts. You will learn about real places and what these places provide or give us. Some places give you services, some places provide you with goods that you can buy. Okay? So, before you read, you have to have a purpose. What do I want to learn? What information will I get from the story? Okay, and in a story, there are different paragraphs. Each paragraph has a main idea or a central idea. So what's the meaning of main idea? The main idea is the most important idea in a text. The main idea or central idea is the most important idea or thing that the text or the paragraph is talking to you about or tells you about. Okay, how do I know that this is the main idea? You'll find details in the story that supports or tells you more about the main idea. Okay, with more facts and more examples. Okay, here's the part that I told you, establish purpose. So when people read for a reason, when you know why you're reading the story, you'll understand why you're reading it, what information you will get, what you will learn, right? Okay. So this is our informational text anchor chart. So while we are reading, we'll be looking about the main idea. What is the main idea again? It's the most important idea in a part or a paragraph in the story. Okay? What else does the main idea have? What else comes with the main idea? Supporting details. Details that support the main idea. Information that develops the main idea. Okay? And you'll also find examples that illustrate. You'll find pictures that show you that about these places and what happened in these places. Okay, here we have the preview vocabulary, and I found out that you guys are you're very familiar with these words. Okay, what is a community? A community is a place where many people, they live together, they work together, they play together. Okay, for example, we all live in the same community. We're all from Perside. We live together in Perside. We meet in a certain place such as school. Some of you meet each other in clubs. You go out and eat together in restaurants. Okay, so a community is a place where many people live, work, and play together. What about the next word? Services. Services is a job that someone does, okay, for money. For example, I'm a teacher. I teach my students, and I earn money. Your taxi driver, he drives you to school he takes you to school and takes you home, and he earns money. Okay? For example, a librarian. A librarian is a person who works in a library. She helps you find books. She arranges the book. She helps you with your researches. So she also provides a service. Okay? So she works in the library and she earns money or gets money for her job. What about, so be careful. Some of you are confused between library and librarian. Library is the place and librarian is the person. Supermarkets. Supermarkets, as we all know, it's a big grocery store. It's a store where people can go buy the food and the things they need. Okay? And so this is a place where we get goods. This is a community place where people go and buy the things they need, and so these are goods. They pay money for the things that they want. The last word is hospital. A hospital is a place where sick people and injured people go to get better. Okay, again, so when someone is sick, they go to the hospital. If someone gets hurt, they break their arm or they have an accident, such as somebody gets hit by a car or something, they go to the hospital. Okay, so injured means someone who got hurt. Who works in the hospital? Doctors and nurses. All right? Okay. Here is the author. Tells you something about the author. Her name is Rachel Kresman. And she won an award for her children's book about places, heroes, and activities in communities. So Rachel used to like to write books for children. What did she like to write about? She wrote about places, heroes that are people that do good things for their community, who help others, and also activities that people like to do in communities, like when neighbors work together to make the parks look better by planting. These are all some activities that people do together. In her Connecticut community, she enjoys hiking, kayaking, and other outdoors activities. This is something that tells you about some activities that she likes to do. Okay, so the title of our story, From Places We Go, A Kid's Guide to Community Buildings. So this story gives you facts about the places that we can find in our community, and some buildings that we can find in our community. Okay, so it says here we have a heading. A heading, if you guys forgot, a heading is like a small title. Okay, a small title on top of a section or a part of the story. What is the heading? It is, what is a community? Okay, so it's asking you, what is a community? The heading can also give you an idea about the topic. Okay, it says here, hooray for the community. A community is a place where people live, work, and play. It is made up of neighborhoods. There you will find homes and people. Who lives in one of those neighborhoods? You. That makes you a part of a community. People in a community help each other and work together. They share roads, parks, and buildings. Okay? So the heading is asking you, what is a community? So you'll find in this paragraph, and it tells you what a community is. It says here, a community is a place where people live, work, and play. That is the main idea of this section or this part. Okay, what else? It says that a community has many neighborhoods. And who lives in those neighborhoods? People. And those neighborhoods have homes and people. And who lives in them? People like you. Okay, so it also mentions here another detail, that people in a community, they help each other and work together, right? You guys are from the same community, so you'll find yourself helping your friend, and you guys go to the same places, and sometimes some people work together. What else? We also share things in our community, such as community places. such as the supermarket, such as roads, such as hospitals. These are all things that people in the same community share. Alright? Here there's a part that gives you extra information about the main idea. It says here, did you know? 3 kinds of communities are urban, suburban, and rural. Suburban areas are cities. They have tall buildings and many people. Okay? So it's telling you that there are 3 communities. I know you guys took this in social, but it's like extra, like giving you extra information about communities. So the first community is called urban. Urban area is another word for city. Okay? If you guys remember from our last story, a city has tall buildings, many cars, many buses, many people living in it. Okay, what about suburban areas? Suburban areas are communities that are near the city. Okay, and I gave you examples such as, like for example, suburban areas near a city in Cairo. Like for example, Cairo is a very big city. Near Cairo, we have suburban communities such as Medinti, Al-Rihab. These are all suburban communities. All right. Tajammu'a Khamis. This is what I told you guys in class. Okay. And we said that rural areas have fewer people and more land. Rural areas such as the countryside. So in the rural areas, you'll find less people and more land. Why do we have more land there? Because they use these lands for farming and for raising animals. So farms and villages are often found there. Farm and villages are often found in rural areas. Okay? I'm sorry if my pictures are different from yours, but most of the sentences are exactly the same. Okay? It says here on paragraph number 3, can you name some buildings in a community? They include markets, schools, libraries, and hospitals. Many people work at those places. They provide goods and services. Goods are things that people can buy or borrow, such as food and books. Services are things that people do for each other. Teaching and medical care are services. Okay, so here they're giving you more details about a community. So if you look here, you'll find sentences that tell you more about the main idea. Again, what was the main idea of these 2 paragraphs? A community is a place where people live and work. So one detail is people live and help each other. People help each other and work together. The second detail is they share roads and buildings. Okay, here it talks about community places such as schools, libraries, and hospitals. Okay, here it says some places give you services and some provides you or gives you goods. Okay, next, paragraph number 4 and 5 is what does the heading say? It says school. So we know from the heading that these paragraphs will tell us or give us detail about school. Okay, it says here, where do many kids go to learn? School. Most kids start kindergarten around age 5. That is the first year of elementary school. Teachers plan lessons for many subjects. They teach math, reading, science, and social studies. Kids usually stay in one classroom for most of the day. They may go to the other teachers for art, music, library, and gym. Okay? I told you also that in the schools are a bit different from our schools. Okay? Kindergarten starts at the age of 5. And elementary means the beginning of the school years. So I told you guys, for example, grade 1 to 5 is elementary. And you guys are part of the elementary stage. Okay? And I told you also, we mentioned in class that the students usually stay in one classroom like you guys but there's one teacher who teaches them all the subject. What are some things that they learn in school? They learn math, reading, science, and social studies. Okay, do they stay all day in the classroom? No, they go out to the other places for activities such as art, music, library, and the gym. And you guys also do that. For PE, you go to the gym or to the court. For music, you go to the music room. For art, you go to the art workshop. Okay, here is, like for example, a teacher reading to her students and discussing the story. Okay. All right. Paragraph 6 says middle school often starts in grade 6 or 7. Then kids go to high school in grade 9. High school lasts for 4 years. When students graduate, they get an award called a diploma. Here, it's giving you more details about the grades in school and what each stage is called. Okay, so from grade 6 to 8, that's called middle school. From grade 9 to 12, it's called high school. And when you finish grade 12, you graduate. That means you finish and you get a certificate or award called a diploma that tells you that you are finished with school. And then one of you students told me they go to college to study for the job that they want to work in when they grow up. Okay? Here, you'll see that students, these are bigger students. So these would be middle school or high school students. Okay, let's see if the middle school and high school students stay in class also, or do they move around more. It says here in paragraph 7, middle and high school kids have many teachers. Each teaches a different subject. Students may start the day in a homeroom class. Ding! A bell often tells them when it is time to change classes. So for the older kids, they don't stay in one class. They go to their teachers. Okay? And each teacher teaches a different subject. Like our school. We have Mr. Anim that teaches math. I teach you English. Miss Angie teaches social and science. And Miss Sally teaches you Arabic. So here we have, like in middle school and high school, each teacher teaches a different subject. How do they start their day? They start it with homeroom class. Of course, you guys all know what homeroom is, right? Okay, paragraph number 8. Schools are an important part of the community. They bring people together. Many students go to after-school activities. They join clubs and play sports. Some kids take part in plays, band, or chorus. People in the community can watch the sports game. They can also attend the plays and costume. Okay, so we also said after school, there's something called after-school activity. So when do they go to these activities? After they finish school. Okay, the students who like to play sports, they go to sport practice, like soccer practice, basketball practice, football practice. The ones that like music, they go to practice in the band. The other ones that like to sing, they go to chorus practice. The ones that like to act, they go to acting class or acting club. The ones that like to read, they go to their book club. These are all after school activities. Okay? So if I ask you what part of the story tells you about the after school activities, you go and look. You start reading slowly to make sure you understand. Many students go to after school activities, and then you try to find what are the activities. They join clubs, they play sports, they take part in plays, band, and chorus. Okay? So remember, you get the main idea by reading carefully and trying to understand what these paragraphs are mostly about. That's the main idea. And you also find the answer to your questions from the story. Okay? Next, we have another heading called library. So what do you think this part or this section of the story will be about? It will be about the library and what is a library and how we use a library, okay? It says here, highlight words that tell why the library is a popular place. So while we're reading, we're going to try to find why the library is a popular place. Library. The library is a popular place in communities. It is filled with thousands of books. A library's media center has movies, music, and sound recordings of books. People in the community can borrow the books and media for free. How can you do that? It's easy. Get a library card and it shows you that you are a library member. Okay? Here's a picture of a library. Okay. Here, let's just start thinking. First of all, what is a library? It's a place that has many books. What else? It has a media center. What is a media center? If you continue to read, you'll see that the media center in the library media center has movies that you can watch, music that you can listen to, and sound recordings of books. Like for example, if I'm not good in reading, instead of taking a book and reading, I can get a book and put like a recording of someone to read the story for me. Okay? So these are all found in a library. Not only books. You can also find movies, you can find music, and you can find sound recordings of books. So a recording of someone reading the story to you. Okay? What else? It says it's free. That means you don't have to pay money. How can I use a book or use any music or movies? I only have to make a library card and then I become a member. Okay? This is a place where many people in a community go to so they can borrow books and practice reading. Remember, reading is very important. Here, some people go to the library to read. Others go to do a research. So some people go to read and some people do a research. They search for information. Okay? So they can do like a writing project or research. People also use computers there to go on the internet. So there are computers in the library. Why do they use the computer? To help them with researches, to use the internet to find information or facts. They may read news from home or email friends and family. So I can send an email from the computer or I can read news from home. Alright, here it says, what if you need help at the library? No problem. You can ask a librarian to help you find books and other materials. The librarian also plans programs for the community. Some members take part no problem. You can ask a librarian to help you find books and other materials. The librarian also plans programs for the community. Some members take part in book clubs. They read the same books and get together to talk about them. Authors may come by to talk and sign the books they wrote. Libraries may also show movies and host parties. Okay, so here, this 2 paragraphs tell you what other services the library can give you or provide for you. Who works in the library? A librarian. What can the librarian do? She can help you find books and other materials like music or movies. What else does a librarian do? We find the answers from the story. Plans programs. She plans things that people in the community can do. She can make a book club. Remember, I explained a book club is when a group of students or children they read all of them read the same book and they meet together. They gather together one day and they sit down with the librarian and they talk about the story. they tell about the part that they liked, the part they didn't like, what part they wanted to change. Okay. Sometimes she also can invite authors to come and they come and talk with the people that like their books and sign the books for them. Okay. Also, the librarian can show movies and make small parties to have people gather and to make friendship. Okay. Here, this is the children part, or the children's section of the library. Let's see what this children's section has. It says here, have you ever been to the children's section of a library? It is where you will find books written just for kids. So the children part, or the children's section, is just for books written for kids. The children's section often has story time. The librarian or other guests will read picture books aloud to visitors. Many libraries also have summer reading programs. Kids can sign up, read books, and win prizes. Okay? It says here, identify the main idea. Let's try to find the main idea. It says, but only for paragraph 13 and 14. Remember, each part has a main idea. So this part talks about the children's section, the children part of the library. It says here that the children part, you'll find story time reading, and the librarian librarian or a guest can come and read the stories to them, so the children can listen and talk about it too. They have a reading program. Students that are not good in reading can come and they can practice reading with the help of the librarian, so they become better readers. And they can have a competition where the one who reads the best, or with good pronunciation or fluency, like if you read the story in a nice way or in a good way, you can win a prize for being the best reader. Okay, this is to encourage reading. As we said, reading is very important. It helps you in so many ways. Grocery store. Grocery, it means the food and the things that we need. And the grocery is the food that we need to eat and things that we buy. So the grocery store is another word for the supermarket. Okay? Where do most people get the food they need? They go to the local grocery store. Large grocery stores are called supermarkets. Here it says people find what they need by searching the aisles in a market. Signs often show what is found in each aisle. Okay, so as you see, a supermarket is very big, and they have long aisles. This is one of the aisles, this long row of food and things that they sell. Okay, so the supermarket is divided into long aisles. Each aisle or each section sells different things. One side sells pasta, one side sells rice, one side sells soap. You can find all of them, and they have big signs that tell you where you can find the things that you need. Many people work in the grocery store. Trucks bring food and other items to the store. Workers unload boxes and stock the shelves. Okay? Cashiers work at the register. They scan items to tell people how much money they owe. Some workers put groceries in bags for shopping. Okay, so it's telling you here that many people work in a grocery store, in a supermarket. Who? Trucks, they bring food and the other things that they sell in the store. Workers, they put all the things on the shelves. Cashiers, they scan the things that you buy and in the register and tell you how much you have to pay. Okay, and there are also workers that put the things for you in bags. Okay. All right, hospital. I know this is a very long story. Okay, so when people get sick or hurt, they may have to go to a hospital. It is open all day and all night. Most hospitals are busy places with many workers. Doctors and nurses give patients medical care to help them get well. If you go to a hospital, your parents will sign you in. You will get an ID bracelet with your name on it. First, you will see a nurse, then a doctor will give you a checkup. So again, a hospital is a place for sick people or people who got hurt. Okay? It never closes. An emergency, the hospital is always open. Okay? And as you see here, emergency. Remember the word emergency? Is when something happens suddenly and people have to come in at that time and they have to help. Okay, who works in the hospital? Doctors and nurses. And the people that they take care of are called patients. So it says here, if you go to a hospital, that your parents will write your name and they will give you a bracelet with your name, and the nurse will come and give you a checkup to check on you first, and then the doctor will come in to see what's wrong with you. Okay? Do you need medical care right away? You can go to the hospital's emergency room. An ambulance may be called to take you there quickly. When the lights and siren are on, cars must move out of the way. Emergency medical workers take care of you on the way to the hospital. Okay, so it says, what if an emergency happened? What if something happened and you need to go very quickly to the hospital? How can you go? An ambulance will come and take you. Okay? Why? Because it's a special car that helps people go to the hospital quickly. And this ambulance or car has a special sound and light. So when they turn it on, it makes a loud noise so people know that there's an emergency to get out of the way and to make room so the ambulance can go straight to the hospital. And what else? There are medical workers. They are like in the car for the sick person or the injured person. Inside, there are people who work to take care of the patient until they go to the hospital. Okay? A patient may need to stay overnight at the hospital. If that happens, the hospital is ready. Many rooms have beds for patients. They can watch TV and eat their meals in bed. If you have to stay overnight, you will not be alone. At most hospitals, a parent can stay with you. Friends and family can visit during the day. Okay? So sometimes some people are so sick or some people so hurt, they cannot leave the hospital. So what happens? You can stay in the hospital and there will be a nurse that take care of you and a doctor to come and check on you. Okay, so where is the patient going to stay? He's going to stay in a bed and the food will come to him and he can lie down until he becomes better. Right? And one of your parents or one person can stay with you. And family and friends can come visit you during the day. So many places. People have so many places to go for goods and services. That makes life in the community much easier. Lucky you, you get to attend school and go to the library. When you are older, you can get a job. With the money you earn, you can open a bank account. You can also use the money to buy things you need, such as food and gas. Okay, here the last paragraph talks about that there are many places in one community and they give you many different things. Some give you services and some give you goods. And when you grow up, you work and you save money and you buy the things that you need with the money that you earn. Okay? So this story is an informational text. It gives you facts about the places that you can find in community. Alright? And today we also answered what an informational text is, why we have headings. The headings, remember, gives you an idea or tells you what this part of the story is about. And the last one is if you're asked to build a place, a community place, which one would you build? And some people said hospital first, some people said school, and you told me the reason. Okay, I know it's a very long video. I hope I helped you. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.